My beloved brothers and sisters, I want to speak today with a heavy but sincere heart about the recent tragic events that took place in Kwara State. This is not the first time, this is not the second. It has been happening steady since all this while in that state, where many lives were lost recently. In fact, this is the height of it. This is not a time for exaggeration or a time to use a harsh word or harsh language. But it's also not a time for silence or soft pedaling the truth. This is not the time to overlook again and keep watching things go wrong in this country called Nigeria. For Christ's sake, lives were lost. Not one, not two. Many of them, they are still counting. How can someone sleep peacefully only to wake up being carried up and down as just an empty body? Families were shattered. Communities were destabilized. Everything was shattered. What kind of country is this? What situation is this? And once again, a nation was left with difficult questions. Everyone. Because it's surprising. The dimension we just saw it, we just heard about it now, it has not, I don't think it has happened this manner. The number is outrageous. It's terrible. See, when lives are repeatedly lost in this manner, it forces us to confront uncomfortable realities. It tells us that something is not working as it should. People that are entrusted with the authority, people that are expected to do something are not doing it. This is a time where every Nigerian should sit down to think, to reflect. It tells us that people who should feel protected, a situation in Nigeria where people who should be protected are instead left in the hands of hoodlums. They are instead feeling exposed and vulnerable. And it tells us that the value of human life is being tested in a way that should concern every one of us. It should raise a concern to us. It shows us that those people we call leaders don't value the lives of average Nigerians. Please, let's rethink. Let our senses, especially the youths, let our senses come back. We should not be deceived again. Leadership, hear me, leadership exists for the protection of human life, of lives of the citizens, and the preservation of order. That is why we have leaders. That is why there is political leaders. That's why there is government. This situation should remind every one of us that some of our political leaders are irresponsible. They are not doing what they ought to do. They are not doing what they should do. And yet, surprising enough, you see our youths, when they throw out a little cash, everybody will rally around them and be clapping for them and hailing them, telling them that you are standing on their whatever. Tragedies everywhere continue to occur. Is it fair? So in this situation now, I think it's fair, it's right for us to begin to ask questions. That, we should begin to ask questions. What must be done? What are the things that are supposed to be done? We should ensure that they are done so that the lives of people should be safeguarded. There are political leaders that come from that area. A lot of them, they are uncountable. Very rich, wealthy Nigerians that are from there, and they are all silent. Elections are coming on the way again. 2027 is here again. Would you like this situation to continue? Let the Nigerian youths rise and speak up. They have deceived us enough. From a moral standpoint, listen to me, a society that becomes used to hearing about loss of lives, this kind of society risks losing its conscience. And that's what we are seeing these days. I remember when we were growing up, you hardly hear the loss of life about anybody. In fact, whenever you hear that anybody passes on, everybody will be shivering. Nobody goes out that day. But now it's like normal thing in Nigeria. We must become careful not to normalize what should never become normal. We should be careful never to normalize it. Every life that is lost represents a future that's interrupted. Every life that is lost represents a family that is altered forever. Any life that is lost represents, community that is left with emotional scars. You see how the video, you see it, I think I'll play it. I have to play it. You see how people were left running, helter-skelter, packing their loads, running, yet they were being confronted. The Bible teaches us, for example, you must know that life, human life, is sacred. Human life is sacrosanct. We are reminded also that humanity is created in the image of God, and that leaders are called also to act with wisdom, to act with justice, to act with compassion. Where is the compassion of our leaders? Where is the sense of judgment of our leaders? The Bible also speaks strongly about peace, responsibility, and care for one another. Where is our senses? The one that baffles me most is that majority of these political leaders, they are always in church every Sunday, and they are being honored in church. They are given special seats at the front. And then when they go home, they don't do what they should do to secure lives. You see, when peace is threatened, it is both a spiritual and also a moral concern. We should know this. And socially, the effect of these repeated incidents go far beyond the headlines that we just see. Fear, for example, begins to replace trust. Children grow up uncertain. All these things will tell on the society. In the near future, communities become tensed. Development slows down. All these things are the effect. Gradually, we are heading towards a situation where, I don't know, I keep saying it, in the next 20, 30, I'm not a prophet of doom, but I keep saying it, in the next 20, 30 years, I wonder how this planet Earth will be, whether we are going to run away from this Earth and maybe relocate to another planet and go and stay. Hope is becoming fragile in this generation. These are long-term consequences that do not disappear when the news cycles move on. They don't just vanish. So we must also recognize that grief left unattended to can turn into anger. Please, let's know this. And anger that is left unaddressed can damage it can damage social harmony. And this is why honest conversations, thoughtful leadership, and genuine concern for human life are not optional. They are essential. They are very, very important, very crucial. So this moment calls for more than condolences. Honestly, it calls for more than condolences. We should look deeper. It calls for reflection. It calls for responsibility, both for the leaders and the led. It calls for renewed commitment to protecting lives. One of the problems of Nigeria, one of the challenges of Nigeria that I've discovered is that it starts from the top. It flows down to the bottom. It seems everyone have their own share of what is going on in Nigeria. You that is led, do you allow yourself to be led well? How many Nigerians are patriotic as I'm speaking to you now? An average Nigerian that you meet now is just full of envy, full of jealousy, full of hatred, full of every bad thing is in our lives. Let us change. So this situation calls for leaders to act decisively and wisely, and also for followers to learn to follow as patriotic citizens. Be responsible at your own level. It calls for communities also to remain united rather than divided, because that's their political strategy. And it calls for every one of us to continue valuing life. Please, let's learn to value lives. Speaking for peace, not to tear down, and also refusing to become indifferent. Let's beware. My thoughts and prayers remain with the families and the communities that are affected. I pray that God will comfort them. May God comfort them, and may comfort also reach them. I know why I say it this way. May comfort. Let's not just be saying God comfort them, God comfort them. Let the government do what they ought to do to make sure that comfort reach these communities. And may wisdom also guide those in authority. Wisdom. Why I say wisdom? Because if they know the implication of what they are doing now, the decisions they are making now, they won't let things go the way they are going. Because if they escape it, their children will be there. And may peace also, I pray that peace will return to places where fear has tried to take hold. Please, let us individually as Nigerians, let us do what I call individual revolution. Let us change within us. Everyone as an individual, change on your own. Stop waiting for the president to change. Stop waiting for the ministers to change. Change yourself. Because if you change, a time shall come when you will ascend that position, and then you will have to see a good change. We'll see something new. Remember, all these political leaders, they were picked randomly. They were picked from amongst us. So that means to say, if you do random sampling, you will know that, you see, if they pick you tomorrow, you'll be surprised. You will do even more than them. You will do worse than them. So the best thing is, you that are led for now, you have been led for now, please try to do revolutionary change. Let there be personal revolution within you. Decide to change. I was privileged to see someone when I was in school. They were just rejoicing in a friend's shop. He was just rejoicing. Everybody was happy. I was, now, what's happening? I asked some questions. You know what I heard from his mouth? He said now that they have made him a councillor, local councillor in his community, that it is his turn now. That if he likes, tomorrow morning he will block the way, nobody will go out, nobody will come in. Can you see how the mind of an average human nature is? Now, at his little level, imagine making that such a person the president of Nigeria the next few years. You see, the same thing will keep repeating itself because every one of us individually have refused to change. Travel abroad. When you begin to have challenges, check very well at the bottom, you see that your fellow Nigerian is at the base of the challenge you are facing. If he doesn't go to prognose, he will, one way or the other, put thought for you. Because I don't know why we are like this. Nature, our people will see you. Someone will see you on the way. He has never seen you for the first time in his life. Just because he will just look at you and then he feels intimidated. Why are you dressing more than him? And then he will not greet you. You will call his attention or her attention and greet them. They will not respond. They will just get angry with you. Next thing, they will begin to tell people, gossip about you. I wonder sometimes what they will be telling those people that care to listen to them. What will you be saying about someone that you have never had anything in common, in contact with? That is the kind of place where we found ourselves. May God help us. May God deliver us. Thank you so much for watching. Please let us change individually. I'm working on myself to change. Nobody's perfect, but let's keep working on ourselves to change and become better persons. The Lord will help us, and then our future will be more secured. Be blessed. Please do well to share this video.